In a quiet town near Asheville, North Carolina, a man named Leonard sits in his garage, surrounded by boxes. Inside them, photo albums, old tools, letters, medals, maps. Each one holds a story. Each one holds a moment that mattered. But no one asks. Leonard is 82. He served in Vietnam. He built his own house with his bare hands. He raised 2 children, buried one, and stayed married for 47 years. He's lived through wars, recessions, inventions, and revolutions. But now, he's just Grandpa, or sometimes just the old guy. You're a man who carries decades of experience. You've seen things that textbooks don't teach. You've felt things that movies can't capture. You've learned things that no algorithm can replicate. But the world doesn't ask anymore. You're a man who remembers what it felt like to fix something with your hands. Not just machines, but relationships. You're a man who remembers the sound of your children's laughter, the smell of your wife's cooking, the weight of responsibility. But now your stories sit in silence. I'm Silas Reed, and this is The Silent House. We speak to the men whose memories are rich, but whose voices have been slowly faded out. We don't pity, we listen. This channel is a space for the stories no one asked for, but everyone needs to hear. If this feels familiar, stay with us. We're just getting started. In places like Fargo, North Dakota, or the outskirts of Sacramento, California, men sit in living rooms filled with history. Walls lined with photos, shelves stacked with books, drawers full of letters and journals, but no one opens them. You're a man who still remembers the names of your childhood friends. You still remember the first time you fell in love. You still remember the moment you became a father. But no one asks how it felt. No one asks what it meant. No one asks what it taught you. You're not asking to be honored. You're asking to be heard. You're not asking for applause. You're asking for curiosity. You're not asking for fame. You're asking for connection. In a library in rural Kansas, a man named Harold volunteers twice a week. He helps shelve books, but he used to write them. He published 3 novels in the 80s. They're out of print now. No one knows. Harold doesn't mind the shelving. He minds the forgetting. You're a man who still has stories that could change someone's life. You still have lessons that could save someone from pain. You still have memories that could make someone feel less alone. But you need someone to ask. You need someone to listen. You need someone to care. I'm Silas Reed, and this is The Silent House. We talk about what no one else does: the emotional weight of aging, the quiet fear of fading, the dignity of men who still matter. If this story feels like yours, or like someone you know, subscribe, hit the bell, like, and leave a comment. Help us make silence heard. You're a man who still remembers the smell of the factory floor, the sound of your father's voice, the way your hometown looked before the highway came through. You're a man who still remembers the first time you held your child. The first time you lost someone. The first time you realized life was fragile. And those memories, they matter. Even if no one asks. Even if no one listens. Even if no one knows. You're still a storyteller. Even if the audience is gone. Even if the stage is quiet. Even if the lights have dimmed. You're still a witness. To history, to love, to loss. And that deserves to be heard. Friends, if this message feels like it was finally made for you, Don't let it fade. Subscribe, hit the bell, like and comment. Your support helps us turn silence into voice. This is the Silent House, and we're just getting started.